What Do You Slay? I'm Coach Becca, this is Coach Kara, and Coach Taylor. We are coming at you with episode 4 this week of What Do You Slay? We're so happy to be here. Again, we're coaches at Slade Fit Club right outside of the Austin area, and we're just here to bring you some hot topics, one that is specifically timely for our gym coming up in the fall. So we are going to be putting on a 10-week challenge for our clients. Clients, if you didn't know, well, now you know. Starting September the 4th, going into kind of early mid-November. So it's a 10-week challenge. It's going to be body fat loss over the course of the 10 weeks, and there will be a male and female winner for our body fat challenge. And essentially kind of our whole idea was to kind of get our clients kick-started after the summer. All of us are guilty of doing some fun things over the summer, not necessarily the most healthiest things, but as the kids and the family routine get back on track, we figured we'd help our clients kind of find that in their health and fitness routine as well. So we're just gonna break down what that looks like and some of our suggestions, our tips, tricks of the trade, and kind of go from there. Yeah, cool.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, is there anything I missed about our parameters or anything?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, why did we choose a 10-week challenge? Why did we choose body fat percentage versus weight loss or muscle mass gain, and male and female winner?
All right, let's go with the first one.
That was a lot of questions.
That was a lot. Why do we choose 10 weeks?
Yeah.
I think it's a good amount of time to actually see some results and work on the weight loss in more of a kind of healthy, sustainable manner, I would say. It might not be the ultimate goal for everybody, but it is a good chunk of time that most people can manage and start creating some new habits in that time frame. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Not too long where people are getting bored and falling off, but long enough to be realistic about the changes that they're going to see from implementing, like you said, the lifestyle habits.
Yeah.
Kind of get excited about it.
Yeah.
And especially when we're talking about like body fat decrease, it usually does take that amount of time again to see those results versus if we were going for just weight loss, which we'll get into that a little bit, but you might see the results a little quicker, but they're not necessarily on the side of the scale that we want to see.
Yeah, yeah.
And then with it being body fat versus weight loss, do you guys want to talk about that, nutrition coaches?
Sure.
Well, I think like you were touching on, there's going to be a difference in the scale weight versus the body fat that you're seeing change, and as trainers, we're hopefully wanting them to build more muscle and decrease your body fat, and the scale doesn't necessarily just reflect that by pounds. It's super normal for people to go up or down, like plus or minus 5 pounds, so we just want to make sure we're reducing the right things and keep maintaining your muscle, which is a good thing.
Yeah. She said it beautifully.
Yeah, male versus female winner. Why do we want to have one of each?
Well, obviously, gender differences, right? So men are going to have more testosterone. They're going to put on muscle a little bit more quickly. They're going to lose body fat more quickly. So if we want to do it on like a fair comparison, we want to take into account like female hormones, their just ability to pure output of calories in, calories out versus the male.
Yeah.
Unfair.
That metabolism in those men.
We're working extra hard,
Right.
just because.
One thing, unfortunately, we can't change.
Exactly.
Men will always be better at that.
Yes, correct.
Sadly. I think too, the body fat versus the weight loss is kind of our way of showing our clients a healthy way to look at your scale and
Absolutely.
actually get away from looking at the scale really, and go based off, you kind of touched on this in our last episode, but going based off the clothes and what your clothes look like versus the scale, and that's kind of what we're getting to. It's really about the lack thereof of body fat.
Yeah.
More.
And improving your body composition, not just looking to reduce the pounds on the scale.
Yeah. Like increase muscle, reduce fat. You'll really love how your body looks, and you'll have a healthy body.
Yeah, and
Not
that's what I was gonna
skinny
say.
fat, we want to maintain that muscle. Like we said in our previous episode, how important it is to hang on to that muscle and eating the right things so you can maintain the muscle you're trying to grow and build and put onto your body. So we work hard to build it, so we want to work hard to keep eating it.
Yeah, there's a great picture in our email series where it talks about this. There's 3 pictures of a female, and one, she's 122 pounds and like she looks okay, and there's one where she's 144 and she looks bomb.
Yeah.
It's the same girl, but she's got that muscle, she's lean, and she looks really good. So I think this is just our way of trying to show people like what is a healthy body versus maybe a lighter body, but not necessarily as healthy on the inside.
Absolutely.
/ like probably what you want to see on the outside.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So getting into that, what is your all's experience with any challenge like this, aside from the Whole30? Let's not talk about that. But like any sort of like fitness nutrition combo, like have you all ever done a challenge like this? Would you count
I
your
don't know.
bodybuilding?
I mean, that was a challenge for
yeah.
sure.
I would count it.
But I don't know if I really have done a full challenge besides competing, but and the Whole30 we did.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I haven't either. I started it as a staff member, a version of this when I was at Orange Theory, but kind of going into what you just said, as a staff member, it was like, nobody's really watching me kind of thing. So I got about probably halfway through and I was like, it's for the members. It's really for them.
I mean, I don't think we could not do it. I just don't. I think that, you know, we do this already in our like day to day. Like what we're gonna coach you, we're already doing. It's like in our normal routine. So I don't think there's a lot of big change for us. I mean, I guess we could always clean anything up, but then you know we go back to like the level of are we happy, and you know is that a balance we need for our lives? So I think it's not that we wouldn't do it or don't want to do it, but we kind of already live that way.
Yeah,
we already are doing that. So I think that's the difference between a member or doing it or you know somebody out there wanting to do it. But
that's true.
Yeah,
you've done it too.
No, I think probably the closest thing I've done has been like a modified 75 hard, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. It's like 75 days. It's like picking a singular diet that you stick to. It doesn't have to be any which one. You're supposed to exercise like 2 times a day for 45 minutes each, like one outside, one inside. And I think when we did it, we were living in Portland, and it's just not realistic to be able to exercise twice a day for that long, and then like another to be outside. But I feel like every time I have a vacation or a big trip, like having that kind of end date or end goal, the way that we're setting up this 10-week challenge is a nice way to kind of box it up where you're like, okay, this doesn't have to be forever, but it is that little maybe boost of motivation that can lag when we do this all the time, right? Like we're used to kind of maintaining our fitness and our nutrition, like about what, an 80-20, like 80% of the time we're really good, 20% like on the weekends we're indulging, and your motivation isn't always there because you get used to it. You're like, well, I eat pretty healthy, I do the right things, and it's easy to just maybe lose the fun or the engaging part of that. So I think the challenges are a nice way to kind of re-spark, like, okay, here's something I'm working for, here's a goal, a clear goal that's going to come out of it, and then knowing like, okay, what about that challenge or what about that process did I like and I want to maintain in my new day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And I kind of also think it's right before the holidays. So, you know, usually statistics show, you know, you put on a couple pounds between November and the end of December. So it's a great...
Statistics said that, folks.
Right. You're going to put something on. But I think it's a great way to like go into it a little bit differently and or going, you know, giving you tips to get through it to help maintain the work you've done just before the holidays, or you know, I don't know.
It's almost helping you like get ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like what you were just saying, like we kind of kick it in gear right before a vacation or someone's coming in town and visiting. We know that we're going to slide off the deep end. So we kind of set ourselves up for success to be okay with those decisions.
Yeah, we do like micro versions of this, I would say, all the time, like throughout. And one thing we do in our nutritional coaching is the SLAY method, and it is once you find that caloric intake that helps you maintain your desired weight, then you kind of fluctuate up and down from there. So let's say, we're sitting maybe 5 pounds or, feeling a little bit, I want to say our clothes are a little bit tighter. We want to bring it down before we're going to be in the beach in a bikini or something like that. Just want to tighten things up. So we'll make some changes with that. And then we teach you that when we do nutritional coaching through our Slade method. But that's exactly what we do and how we live our life when we're going on vacation or a special occasion, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I think this is just designed to teach new daily habits, or I'll make you, I think, a huge piece of the 75 hard, although I've never done it. I don't know that I ever will because it seems real hard. But it's just proving that you can do something, that true satisfaction of I actually did stick to something for 10 weeks, so I am capable of continuing that, whether it be the whole thing or just sustainable pieces of it that fit into your life, which is our job. We're here to help you and people figure out how fitness can be sustainable and realistic.
Well, I think there's the psychological part of it too, right? There's a lot of books, there's a lot of podcasts on the mental effect of harnessing those wins and getting them under your belt. So whether it's a 10-week challenge, whether it's a 75 hard, just that dopamine rush that you get from, okay, I checked this off, and holding yourself accountable to that is what's really going to create that loop of staying motivated to stay in those, instead of approaching your fitness as a challenge all the time. It just, again, it becomes a habit and it becomes more innate and you don't have to think about it, which means you're more likely to stick to it. Because if something feels like work, right, a new diet, a new program, we're already stressed out by our day-to-day stuff, whatever you have going on in your own lives, and then you try to add this layer of fitness goals, fat loss, whatever that is, then it's going to become something where you're I'm not enjoying this. This is added stress to my life, and that's why it's easy to fall off of it, as opposed to finding the joy in the movement or the joy in those wins and how you're feeling better, your clothes are fitting better, all those positive things that come from being consistent in any type of routine.
Yeah, I think fitness is something that it's always a choice, right? And it's one of the easiest choices to throw away because of exactly what you just said. So choosing to do it for 10 weeks in that finite period will help it become an easier yes and a harder thing to say no to.
Exactly. 100%. And whatever aspects you take from the 10 weeks that you enjoyed or gave you more perspective that you want to permanently, change, then that's a small win right there. You know, if you can change, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 habits maybe for the better of your body, your lifestyle, your energy, everything, all aspects, man, it's a success if you can, solidify just a few of those wins and keep those going. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. We're motivated.
We should do it.
So we want to dive more into fat loss versus weight loss.
Yeah.
So this is how I kind of think about it. You can lose up to 5 pounds of water weight, which will make the scale change. But it doesn't really, I don't feel like it really means you've lost weight. It's just your body, how much your body retains water can go up and down, which can be a really, it can really mess you up in the mind, I guess I should say. Is that the proper way? The kid version of this. So I think that, we've had a client come to us and say, I don't understand. The scale's going up, but my clothes are fitting better. We've mentioned this. And it's just not the best way to measure, I think, success when you're doing a challenge or a weight loss. Yes, your numbers should come down because your body fat comes down. But hopefully you're on the right path to keep that muscle, which requires eating enough, but not too little to where your body's eating all the muscle.
Yeah.
But I think it's a better way to measure your success and healthier. You want to bring your body fat down if it's high, or if you're wanting to see some change, or sometimes you don't really have to do body fat, but increase the muscle. But when you increase the muscle, the body fat will naturally come down anyways.
Or just stay off.
Or stay off, but you have to maintain that muscle.
So what's a good gauge? Like, what can people expect to lose in regards to body fat percentage?
It's gonna be very dependent on the person. Like, if it were someone, like, say we were to participate, right, and we already have a very solid fitness routine, we're already, like, our body has made certain adaptations to our routine, we're probably gonna see slower progress versus like a new person who's all of a sudden maybe changing their lifestyle. They're eating very clean, not processed foods, they implement some type of exercise routine. Like, they're gonna see a little bit more drastic change just because that's so different than maybe what their current day-to-day is looking like.
Absolutely.
So you'll see big changes in people that are beginners because, again, it's so different from what they do, and you could see a big change in people that maybe really intensify what they're doing. So if all of a sudden it's like someone quit drinking and they ate really healthy, even if they were on a fitness routine, those are still factors that could play a pretty significant big change, like, from the jump. But typically on trends, like with our nutrition clients, we'll see in the very beginning stages when people are super compliant and they're motivated, you'll see big changes. But the closer you get to your goal, the slower that progress happens. And it's just important to remind yourself, like, just because maybe it's not moving at the same rate it was, it doesn't mean the change isn't taking place. So I like that we're doing body fat, and we're looking at more of how does your body feel, how does your body look, because that's a much healthier, much better indicator of the change going on versus like the pounds on the scale. Like, the only person that knows pounds on a scale is you. But people that you interact with on a day-to-day, like, they can visibly see, oh my gosh, you look great, what have you been doing? And they can see the difference, you can see the difference. So I like that we're trying to get away from people emphasizing, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. Like, what could you do more of? I want to eat more healthy foods, I want to move my body more. And then think of ways you can add to your life instead of like, make me small and be less.
I think the challenge is not, it can come the body fat, but there could be also like, hey, I want to put on some more muscle and, be able to get in a routine to exercise more. So I think it just depends on at each person. What
And the effort.
And the effort. Their current physique, their current routine. Like, how much are we off that course? Are you so stressed out and not sleeping? I mean, there's so many different factors, unfortunately, but it's our body's way of protecting itself. So I think it kind of varies, but it should be a supportive, encouraging thing and motivating to jump on something like this. Everybody kind of wants a little push. And why not give this a try and see what kind of success you can celebrate.
So going off of that, like, how would we do this 10-week challenge to make sure that we're being the most successful, let's say, assuming that we are beginners?
I would say start with like looking at your schedule, because anytime you're starting any type of routine, like, you're never going to have more time in your day, and typically the reason people don't adhere to programs is because they get busy or they don't have time, right? So like, have a realistic conversation with yourself, like, what can I put into this? Like, how many days of exercise could you do? Ideally you're aiming for like at least 3 days of exercise a week, but some people that's just not realistic, and that's okay. But you can make that up by eating a little bit healthier or getting more just like low impact movement, like trying to aim for a step goal of 10K per day. So be honest about how much time you can commit to that, and then implement that.
And stick to it.
Exactly. I would say that's the biggest place you want to start.
I think like if you already feel overwhelmed, just take a couple pieces of it and try and get that part to implement. Maybe you just implement, all right, I'm gonna cut out soda first and then try and work out 2 times a week right now. Like, that's my first goal, and see your body can still change, maybe just changing those 2 things. And that's a perfect thing what Coach Taylor said is look at your schedule, look at the calendar, and maybe even write micro goals. Like at the end of the first week, just say like, I'm gonna work out 2 times this week, and then celebrate and be like, yes, that's so awesome. And then what micro goals are you wanting to work on achieving for the following week? So it doesn't feel so overwhelming looking at all 10 weeks and or all the things and suggestions we're giving you. So
Yeah. I'd say meal prepping.
yeah,
That would be like, that'd probably be actually on par with number 1. 'Cause,
yeah.
I mean, I hate the saying where it's like, what is it? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Like that is so true, because again, when you're implementing anything new, if you're not planning ahead and you're trying to implement something new, like of course you're going to be caught off guard. And even if it's mapping out your meals for the week and like you're okay cooking every day, that's still going to be a lot more comfortable and easy to get a grip on than just kind of like going by the seat of your pants and being like, oh, well, what am I going to eat today? Like that is just, inevitably something is going to come up and you're going to fall off, and then you're going to be like, well, I don't know what happened. So
you're going to be hangry, you won't be prepared. When you want to just go into the refrigerator, what you're going to grab out is something that's healthy that you know you've made. I mean, I think that is a huge thing to wrap around. So meal prep, if you don't like it, if you don't want to do it, like it's a huge piece. Like all 3 of us meal prep every single weekend. So we have to prepare for our weeks when we're working long hours. So I think, and that's how we stay successful. Like being a mom and, you know, getting home late. Like last night, I had thought about this on a quick side note, that I had cooked a bunch of food, you know, in big batch, and I made 3 separate meals, like one for my son who's 7, one for my husband who likes particular things, and then whatever I was wanting to eat at the moment. And it was from everything that I cooked. You know, you just change things up a little bit. And that comes with time. We will teach you how to do that, but I think that's really important. Just try and figure out how you can incorporate meal prepping in your routine if you want to be successful.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I think if you're really trying to win, got to cut the alcohol.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you're really going for the win, this is a fast track to not only cut down on the calories, but also your body is going to take the energy that it uses to get the alcohol out of your system and put it to burning fat. Because your body, when it is clearing alcohol out of your system, that is literally the only thing it's working on.
Right.
Because it is it's poison, and it's trying to flush it out with everything it has, and it halts all the other things that it needs to do.
So this is just a fun visual analogy. Taylor's heard this one. This is my best analogy of how alcohol goes through your body. You got to think of like LA rush hour. So there's a bunch of traffic, and it's like kind of slowly moving, and then there's an ambulance coming through, and you want all those cars to pull over, stop what they're doing, so this alcohol can, which is an ambulance, go through this traffic. So like everything slows down because the priority is to metabolize and process the poison or alcohol in your body. So if you want at this, ixnay the alcohol.
Just 10 weeks.
Just 10 weeks.
And then you can have all the alcohol you want on Thanksgiving, Christmas.
You're gonna feel terrible.
Don't binge. But I mean, if you're a Friday, Saturday, Sunday fun day type person, just like we're talking about, okay, find balance. Maybe now it's just
Friday night,
one drink.
Yeah.
And then like one mimosa. You know, kind of figure out, pull back so you can still have your fun. But again, if you're trying to win, there's your cheat.
There you go.
I think.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and you want to think about like when you're drinking, are you making the best decisions? No, your inhibitions are going down. You're like, the pizza at like midnight sounds super good.
Yeah.
Then you're like, wow, I don't feel like great Saturday morning. I better have something kind of greasy or heavy to keep me balanced.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
But
so yeah, no, that's a good point.
Any other tips, tricks?
I mean, ask questions. I think if you have questions or curious, or if you need advice, or
or having a community, right?
Yeah.
Like anytime you want to do a challenge, like what we're trying to harness here is like you have people to keep you accountable, and by extension, like make it more fun. So if meal prepping is not your jam, or maybe like not drinking sounds like a real sacrifice, you know, get your friends to do it with you, because maybe you guys can share recipes, and then you could meal prep together. You can kind of
meal prep day.
Yeah.
Or you can have
Or
a group
do,
text
like-
where you're like, I'm really missing this, and you're all just angry together. That's what we did.
That's what we did. It was
Suffer together.
Yeah.
And then
Trauma bond.
you know, when we were doing this together, we would send pictures of our meals that we were eating, which I think also helped and kept us all accountable. But like, oh, that was a great idea. You know, I didn't think about this, and this, or how did you do this? And we're learning from each other or getting inspiration of like what you're eating, because I'm sick of all the things I cook, and you know, so on and so forth. Or we learned a lot about Siete.
We love
love
Siete.
Did you know
Siete.
it's headquartered here?
Yeah.
Oh, I was right next to the headquarters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Drinking a beer.
Yep.
Cheers, Siete.
Yes, for them, pour one out.
So anyways, I think the community aspect is really key. I think having accountability and some other people doing it with you is motivating. You know, you can talk or camaraderie as you're working out. Like here in the studio, we have this for our clients, and them being able to know that they're in it together and they can have some talking points, or, you know, suffer together, or whatever they're struggling with. I think it's a great accountability. Like just anytime like we have a gym partner, you know, you kind of feel more held accountable when you have somebody doing it with you.
Yeah.
So I think that is a great positive thing, and could end up becoming more successful in your success in completing the program.
Yeah.
And it could be fun. I mean, you have a Sunday
Mocktail, you know? You have your
mocktail,
friends
yeah.
to go through with.
and meal prep.
Yeah.
Put it
So top 4 or 5. Meal prep sounds like our number 1.
Yep.
Get in front of your meals so you don't make crash decisions.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be alcohol.
Yeah, cutting alcohol. It's just empty calories.
Yeah. It's not doing
No
anything
nutritional
great.
value.
None. We'll do a whole podcast about
Yeah. Coming next.
that. We all like to drink, by the way.
Yes. Really
We do.
important to find a balance.
Number 3 would be consistency in your workout, whatever that means. I would say 2 times a week with your strength or your cardio.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you can, 3, 4. But if you can't in the gym, then just up your
Daily movement.
movement. Any movement, like
period.
walk, yoga,
Whatever
park
you
way
enjoy.
far.
Yeah.
Whatever is evening walks, morning walks, your dog, get your family involved.
Yeah. And,
And
then
then-
community.
And
Yeah,
community.
that would be
I think those
the
are
last one.
major keys with that.
Okay. And then we have to touch on this. Is this a fad diet? Is this a crash course? What would make this different from what we try to steer our clients away from?
Well, that's a good question.
So
But
no.
I
not a
don't
fad
think it's a
diet.
fad diet, because we're not this is like normal healthy balance versus like 75 hard. We're not asking you to do 2-a-days and, you know, cut out all these different foods. You know, we are all about sustainability. So find some pieces of this that work for you. But I think that it's kind of like a jump start. I would say a jump start to a new, healthier way of approaching food, eating out, socializing, and take tips from that.
Yeah, I agree. Because we're not like setting a goal like
Yeah.
10% fat loss in 10 weeks. Like,
And-
no.
And
We're just saying, let's get the results you can with what you can do. And then we are offering a cash prize. So hopefully it is the best of a flock and you get your cash prize.
And let's talk about that. Why are we asking you to invest $10 to participate in this? Do you see the value of that? Do you see the value of that?
Commitment.
Yeah, I mean, you're having to put a physical piece behind it, as opposed to just like words can be empty, or it's easy when you're not already invested in it in any way, you know, monetary or not. to just be like, okay, like as a coach, you're like, okay, well, this is for the clients. I don't need to do this. Versus if you put some type of investment in it, you're kind of, you know, signing up to do a little bit more
like
contract.
a fancy football league.
Yeah. And of course you want to win. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to win more money?
Right? I think it's a buy-in. You have some skin in the game, and I think there is. I mean, granted, it's $10, but I think in the end, you can win the grand prize, which can be motivating in itself and kind of fun, you know. So I think, you know, I think putting some skin in the game, or if you're doing this on your own, like there's some ideas of like tell somebody or say, I have a dress on hold at this store and I have to go buy it if I hit this, and this, or whatever your parameters are. But put some skin in the game, or put something up to help motivate that.
Yep.
Whatever is motivating to you.
I agree. Okay. Are you guys ready for
Red flag, green
red
flag.
flag, green flag? So again, they don't know what these are. So this is true visceral
First responses.
reactions.
Okay. What you have today?
Are you all nervous?
A little bit.
All right. Red flag, green flag. Beer after a workout.
Red flag.
I say red flag. I know you're a green flag, Becca. I just can't. I cannot work that hard and then go green.
I mean,
it's probably the nutrition coaches in us that are
I would never do
Okay,
that.
so I need to say,
go ahead.
I've never actually read this article. I've just taken it for fact. Because I want to believe that it's true, but there are studies that say like the salt and whatever are a good recharge after specifically cardio. I don't think this relates to strength training really, but
The carbs
the
in
cardio.
beer.
Yeah, you get carbs, you get some salt to help recharge.
Are we redacting the fact that we just said alcohol has no nutritional value?
This is why this is a great green flag.
Wow. I would say red flag.
I also have never done this either. That's just what I've heard. I think it's kind of cool. What about like the athletic? Have you seen that? The athletic IPA beers that are non-alcoholic, but they have the same like property value almost.
I'm just gonna drink some electrolyte water.
I feel like
with
coconut
some.
You don't like
water.
beer that much?
No, I don't do beer at all.
Oh, I love beer, but
Yeah.
I just can't work out that hard and then like put something in my even like Gatorade. I can't because it's
yes.
knowing you're like, okay, has electrolytes, it has salt and sugar, but
Lots of
you're
sugar.
like, my body is a temple. I just work my butt off. Let's go.
Well, in theory, I say green flag. But again, I've never done it. Probably for the same reason in the back of my head. Okay, red flag, green flag. Protein shakes as a meal replacement.
Like when you're in a pinch, maybe yellow
Yellow
flag.
flag.
Yeah, yellow flag. Like
I say yellow flag.
if you're
Something's better than nothing.
yes, absolutely. That's a perfect saying. I mean, if we're on a road trip, I'll eat one of those, and that'll be lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But regularly, no.
No. And definitely not as like a means to weight loss.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like Slim Fast, all these brands used to be really popular.
Yeah.
And again, it's marketing to that idea of like less is more, less is more. So if you just drink this shake for lunch, you're going to be skinny and happy. And it's like, oh no, you're starting to create like really negative habits and connotations around real food.
Yeah.
So
So I would say yellow.
The nutrient density just isn't quite there as a real meal.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're all trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was a good one.
Red flag, green flag. Cashew cheese.
What? I've never even heard of this. Cashew cheese?
You were on the Siente train. And you
Oh!
didn't try cashew cheese?
No.
With fake cheese. Like dairy free, it's made of cashews.
I don't know what to say, I guess I've not tried this.
I would say green with mindfulness to what else is it made of. Because a lot of times you'll see cashew cheese as a vegan, vegetarian alternative to dairy, which is great because you're still able to indulge and have queso, but like a lot of times you're going to see these products with seed oils or other things as the fillers,
Like
which
make it
are going
yummy
to
or-
exactly to have that same texture consistency that it's lacking. So
Yeah.
plug for Siete, we are not sponsored, but they do have very good ingredients, very wholesome. They're based out of Austin, and it tastes really good.
Yeah,
so,
and they use nutritional yeast to get that cheesiness on their chips. And
I'm a green flag, but you do have to understand it's still not cheese.
Right.
You know,
I'm gonna get cashews and some cheese. Just like to keep those separate. That's what I'll eat. Just cashews, dipping
and
in
all
your cheese.
cheese. Okay, red flag, green flag. Knees over toes guy.
Ooh, I feel conflicted. I feel a little green flag.
Do you know this guy?
No.
He's an
Advocate for knees over toes.
Yeah, he's someone within our professional sphere, but yeah, his whole mantra is training knees over toes is not only like encouraged, it's healthy, it's safe, and it improves the durability of your knees and ankles and tendons.
Oh.
Versus, we've always been told,
Like
don't
knee
put your
over
knees
the
over your
ankle.
toes. Yeah. So
I think it just depends on your movement, what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that the strengthening of knees is very underwhelming out there in regards to that style of movement, but I think it's important. We incorporate it here.
Yeah. You gotta have the ankle mobility for it.
yeah.
That would be my thing, but I think overall green flag. But when I first discovered him, I mean, I was total red flag.
Yeah.
Because everyone's taking it out of context.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can put your knees over your toes. If your foot stays flat on the ground, you have the ankle mobility to do it.
Right.
But if you don't, I mean, then it all comes down to form, people.
Yeah.
All comes down to form.
Okay, last one. Red flag, green flag. Instagram fitness influencers.
This could be a whole nother podcast.
Maybe we will.
I would say yellow. Because influencers, some of them are trainers, and some of them just happen to be making their living off of the fact that they're really good at marketing themselves. Now, fitness influencers that are like snatch your waist in 5 minutes, like with these catchphrases and stuff.
Yeah.
You have to do your research. Like, you would never hire a doctor that had no credentials. The same way you should not hire any professional with no credentials.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, if you vibe with someone and you like what they're posting, but like do your research and like the soundness behind their methods and just do your research. I mean, it'd be like anyone, like going to a gym. So
Yeah.
I think like realistic. Is it realistic to what you want and what you're looking for? And is it a positive mind influential?
Yeah,
you
like
know,
is that
it can
person
be.
making you feel good?
Is that making
Yeah.
it feel good? Are you learning? Are you guided by that person to do what you're trying to achieve? Or is it making you feel worse about yourself? Are you feeling like you can't perform how they're doing it? You don't look like how you're doing it? I think a whole new podcast would be my biggest pickle is, there's so much information out there, and who's demonstrating it are people who are professionals or who know how to move their body just right with perfect form. And we teach this all the time, where many people don't have correct form, and so they're trying to look like this person but don't know how to move it. And so I think can be a lot of misinformation. So
Yeah.
I think it can be yellow. It would be a yellow flag for me, just depending on if it's helpful to you, if it's getting you to where you're wanting and not making you feel bad.
Yeah. I agree.
yeah.
You said it.
Okay. All right.
That's
Good, Becca.
Those were great.
Well, thanks for joining us on episode 4 of What Do You Slay? You can sign up for our 10-week challenge if you are in the Lakeway area and want to join. If not, we encourage you to do something similar. Get yourself ready post-summer and pre-holidays.
Pre-holiday.
Yeah.
And if you love what we're doing here with What Do You Slay, we ask for you to smash that subscribe button for us. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. We will see you on the next What Do You Slay?